Hey everyone.
Hey, folks.
Hey guys.
Yeah,
Hope
sorry for the little delay today. I just ended up having some work for my 9 to 5 job that meetings I had to go to.
yeah, but that's done.
And we're
Hey
here now.
1K. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us again. So, today we're going to be talking about the Fletcher, which is our Robin Hood analogous character coming in Crossroads, season 3 of Vivian. We're very excited to show this one off. We have a very crazy, awesome mechanic that the Fletchers have that we can't wait for you to get your hands on. I think you guys are really going to like it, and we're going to talk about it today. It's going to be fun.
Oh yeah, this was one of the most exciting uh design things we came up with. We workshopped this for like 2 hours until we finally landed on something, and it's fantastic. Do you want to just get into it, Aislyn?
Sure. I love that you say 2 hours. That makes it sound like it was just really quick, honestly. But no, I guess like what Aaron's saying is we were just like kind of bashing our heads against the wall. We were like, how is Fletcher gonna like do something interesting? But then we mentioned this and we both just looked at each other like, yes,
And then
that's the one.
we spent 2 hours refining it once we finally found it because
Yeah,
it's excellent.
it's pretty
Yeah,
sweet.
this is a character that gets to make their very own cards. So
Yes,
let's
they
take a look at the
do.
ultimate.
Yep. So this is Fletch, the Fletcher's ultimate. Unsurprisingly, they fletch their arrows with their ultimate. So they get to expend their initiative in an alternative way. So, usually you can only spend your initiative to uh, move a tile or draw an extra card. The Fletcher can do it in a third way. They can fletch with their initiative. They either get to pick from their feather deck or their arrowhead deck, which we're going to talk about in just a second, and add those cards to their new master arrow, which is another term that's specific to the Fletcher. Um, the idea of the Fletcher thematically is that they were just literally simple Fletchers, going about their daily lives. Being a Fletcher was their profession before the Baron and whoever else started doing evil things in the Crossroads. And now they've risen above that simple, humble rank of Fletcher and by night don masks and caps to go and end the evildoers that are roaming the lands. That's their whole shtick. They're basically the closest thing to a superhero that we have so far in Avian, so far. They're really fun. So let's take a look at what these arrows do and what are you getting out of spending your initiative to fletch from your feather and arrow decks. First of all, which one is the feather and which one is the arrow deck, Aaron?
Oh my God. Well, so the one with the feather, that's the that's the feather deck. The one with the arrowhead, that's the arrowhead deck. So I'd
Yes.
say let's just spend an initiative and Fletch here.
Well, hold
Do you want to
on.
do?
Let's talk a
Oh,
little
okay.
bit about like what are we even looking at? Like, so the Fletcher, if you're familiar with season one, they get an extra deck of cards. In this case, two little extra decks of cards, kind of similar to relics, but different in a lot of ways. You're fletching from it via your initiatives. You get 7 feather cards and 7 arrowhead cards right at the start of the game. There are 7 unique feathers, 7 unique arrowheads. You shuffle both of those decks respectively, so it's all randomized. You don't know which ones you're going to get together. And then at that point, you're ready to start drawing from your feather and arrowhead decks to create custom master arrows. So let's look at a feather.
All right. So we just used Fletch and we got Eagle.
We got eagle.
Oh
So
man, that's a
that's a
big one.
really, really good one to draw as your first arrow because it cares about how many tiles are between you and your target. So
So
these,
there's a couple of
yeah,
things interesting going on with this card. For starters, it's a half of a card. Like we're missing the power cost, and if you notice the whole design of the card is actually swooping over to connect with the other half.
yep.
Um, I'd say let's just flip an arrowhead and let's take a look at our first master arrow.
Yeah, so this card doesn't do anything on its own, but when combined with an arrowhead, it becomes a functional card. So let's say we get to Fletch again. What's our next thing? It is
Ooh.
Icicle. Oh, let's line that up right. There we go. So first of all, you might notice that the art is connected, which we had such a blast working on. So all of these illustrations for the feathers and the arrows are all perfectly designed to be, they match up exactly. And so each one creates its own like cool looking arrow in their own environments. It's really fun. But you'll see here that
Can we zoom in on the card a little more? Just
I
you're just
actually,
gonna have to
yeah,
zoom in
I
with
can't I can't zoom in any further in Tabletop Simulator. But I can zoom
middle
in the card.
double click the middle mouse.
Oh, that actually did let me zoom in a little closer. Nice.
It
Um,
didn't do that much. Oh well.
no, it's still closer. But yeah, so you'll see that Eagle has the action cost and Icicle has the power cost slash gain. There are arrowheads which comprise the power cost of the Master Arrow that have costs or gains. Icicle happens to be a cost, so this Eagle Icicle Master Arrow costs 2 actions and 1 power and has a range of 4, which is unique. Most of them don't have a range of 4. So this is a very long range arrow. It gets the effects of both sides. So you play this as a single card, and because it's an eagle, for each tile between you and the target, you deal 2 more damage to them and stun them. So the further you are away, up to a max range of 4, you're going to hit harder. And on top of that, because it's an icicle, it's going to baseline deal 5 damage and slow to them. So this is an excellent arrow to draw right off the bat. It's going to cause a ton of problems for your opponent if you can get it fired off quickly. Also, it's important to note that the control banners of both of these cards are combined when you try to play the Eagle Icicle. So this card would be affected by both silence and disarm, because the eagle is affected by silence and the icicle is affected by disarm.
Yep. So yeah, you combine these cards together, and then once you play it, they are just set aside in a separate discard. There's not a way to get them back. You can fire at most 7 Master Arrows in a game. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Granted,
let's.
the Master Arrow deck is representing, I think over 40 damage. So, like,
Yeah. So
you're
let's take
if you go
a
through
take a
your
look at
whole
another one.
Master Arrow deck, you're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine on
So
damage.
we had Eagle Icicle, but have you heard of
Oh, we've got
Robin
Robin.
Bodkin? Oh, look at that. So the other one was like some crazy fancy master arrow. This one is just like, yep, it's an arrow.
Yep. Yep.
But
This is a
yeah,
very simple arrow.
-1/+2, deal 3 damage to target enemy, gain 2 initiative,
2 luck.
or
This one
gain 2
gives you 2
luck.
luck. Yeah, so I mean that's just a good card. Like if
Yeah,
you if you draw a -1/+2 attack from your deck, range 3 that deals 3 damage and gives you 2 luck, that's just great. So like this is just a wonderful card. It's only affected by disarm because they're both affected by disarm, and then you play it as a single card. So that's just the simple Master Arrow mechanic. It's very thematic.
hmm
It's very evocative. We love it. We hope you love it too. It's very fun to fletch your arrows and just see what you get. It's very exciting. We love it. Sorry, I'm just repeating myself. I just love the Master Arrow mechanic, and the card backs are so beautiful. Look at that. Oh my goodness, that is just such a
it's
wonderful design. Mike Hoshgard,
some of the
our
best work that Mike has made. Yeah.
yeah, our graphic designer did such a good job on it.
But there, so we've got a lot of the damage in Fletcher comes from their master arrows, but they still have a complete suite of specialization cards they have
Yes,
access to.
yes,
A little less damage because of that, but they still got some things in there because these are the master archers. If you're playing a Fletcher, you're the best archers in the world. And so we've got some cards that in their specialization that kind of cater to that. They build on the precise archetype that we saw in Yeoman on Monday or
yeah.
Tuesday.
Yeah,
Tuesday.
yeah, for sure. And because of the Master Arrow mechanic, the Fletcher cards themselves that you pick between don't have a ton of damage in them, but they
hmm
don't really need to because you're getting a lot of your damage from Master Arrows. So you're going to see a lot of ways to generate extra initiatives from the Fletcher deck because that's
hmm
going to let you fletch more or, make up for the fact that you need to spend all of your initiative, well, some of your initiatives to fletch. or just various ways to keep themselves at a distance from their opponent, or just do very dashing, daring stuff. So we're gonna start with the precise side of Fletcher. Isn't that right, Aaron?
Absolutely. So let's talk about let's get the very bog standard, I think is what we have up first.
Yeah,
Um, this is, go ahead and pull them
we're
out.
gonna show off Snapshot.
Snapshot. Yeah. First off, excellent art
Mm-hmm.
and also an excellent card. And it is a -1/+1, deal 5. It's got precise, which means it has to be played at exactly range 3. A -1/+1 that deals 5 is excellent. The going rate for -1/+1 is like 3 damage, maybe a little extra.
Yeah, at
Getting
range
to
three. Yeah,
do getting to do 5 allows a precise Fletcher to have an insane amount of burst.
oh,
If
absolutely. And we really wanted archers in this game. It's interesting because when we were designing this season, we knew, you know, generally speaking, we give cards that are longer range less value. They have to have downsides, or they have to have less damage and control or extra effects overall compared to range 1, because range 1 needs to have a benefit for having to get up close and personal. We managed to, well, I should say, we wanted archers when they came into Evian to feel like they hit really hard despite the fact that they were long range. That was really important to us. That is kind of at odds with our design philosophy of melee attacks dealing more damage. So we really wanted to find a way to evoke that regardless, and that's why we made precise. It's a downside to the card. It doesn't benefit you in any way. But because it's a downside attached to these cards, we're allowed to make longer range stuff more effective. And Snapshot is a great example of that. You'd never see 5 damage on a range 3 -1/+1 without some kind of downside or catch, so to speak. So that's kind of the philosophy behind how we got here.
Yeah, absolutely. And it works out very well. Snapshot is an excellent little card for the precise Fletcher archetype.
For sure. So what's next for Precise Fletchers?
I believe we've got Apple through again with that
Yes.
Granny Smith and the um the very subtle initiative symbol on the art itself.
Yes. So this card is super cool. It attaches to yourself. It doesn't go away unless someone destroys it. This is definitely a build around, certainly for precise. So after you precisely attack an enemy for the first time each turn, you gain an initiative and a luck. So what it means to precisely attack an enemy is if you resolve any attack against them that was at that attack's max range. So the card doesn't need to have the precise keyword for you to precisely attack them. So if you
Yep.
played a Warrior Strike, a -1/+1 that at range 1, that only does 6 damage, it doesn't matter that Warrior Strike doesn't have precise. When you play that card, you would trigger Apple Through. If you played Throat Shot, which is a card in Yuumin, -1/+1, range 3, deals some odd amount of damage. If you played Throat Shot at range 3, it would trigger Apple Through.
Yeah.
So Fletchers can do a lot of really fun stuff with Apple Through, and it really compels them to stay at long range, and then they get significant benefits from that.
Yes. One of the big benefits of running Apple through is it gives you a source of initiatives which can be used to crank out more master arrows. Also, it gives you luck. Something you'll see in Fletcher is they get a decent amount of luck generation. They don't do anything fancy with it like Peasant or Friar does, but we were making a character that's kind of trying to be Robin Hood, right? So we wanted to have that plucky, lucky aesthetic
Yeah.
and make them a bit of not only a precise master archer, but a bit of a heartthrob almost. These are
Yeah.
heroes,
Right, right.
um, and I think that transitions pretty nicely into our next card, which is another precise card, dramatic stunt.
Yes. So this is hitting the precise archetype because it has precise, but it's also hitting kind of the dashing, daring archetype of the Fletcher. So this is using precise in kind of a different way. So this is a travel card that targets a tile, but it has range 2 and precise, which means that you can't use it to travel one tile. You have to go 2 tiles with it. But that's
Right.
generally okay because this card only costs 1 action. It's heroic, and it gives you a luck on top of that. So this is a wonderful travel option. This plays very nicely into the vibe of green as a color, having very, very good travel options compared
Mhm.
to other colors.
Yeah,
And
one of
go ahead.
the huge benefits of dramatic stunt, um, it is great when you're fighting against a range one character as a Fletcher. You can use dramatic stunt to get into precise range because it's going to allow you to go back, back to range three, and get to start playing those precise cards that are sitting in your hands.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're kind of transitioning here to the dashing heartthrob side of Fletcher. So let's show our the first card of our next archetype, sort of thematic archetype in Fletcher. Aaron, would you like to talk about bravado?
Oh man. Okay. Yeah. So I don't mind the initiative symbol is
Oh,
improperly linked.
yeah,
Well,
it is. We need to fix that.
fix that in a little bit. Yeah, so you can't be a Robin Hood character if you're not making wisecracks at your opponent, you know? And so we've got a fantastic card here. You put it on you, and you get to put a 5 tokens on this. And at the start of your turn, if you aren't silenced, if you are able to taunt them, if you're able to mouth off, you get to pick any token and add it uh, into your resource pool, which means yes, that means you can gain an extra action on a turn or a power, or you can just get luck out of this. It is phenomenal. Possibly this is still one of my cards on my personal watch list for just being too strong, but it is a phenomenal turn one play, and
Yeah,
yeah, no,
it is a
I'm a huge
very good
fan of the
turn one
card.
play. Absolutely. And finally, one of our favorite, most ridiculous illustrations in the entire set. It's just so hilariously goofy. This is Smolder. So, yes, that is a SpongeBob reference in the the flavor
Flavor t-
text.
Uh,
Um,
Hold on, Aislinn. Let's take a moment and just appreciate this art. Just
yes, it's truly something
oh, no,
else.
no, 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 no. We got
Oh, we're
wow.
we're just gonna sit in silence. Yeah,
Yeah.
a moment of silence for Smolder.
Damn. Damn, he's hot.
He is
What
a
is it?
hot man.
What is it, Aislinn, with us making really weird 0 - 1 control instance? Because we had Wonder, which is just some guy like doing a Tyrannosaurus impression. I don't know, looking at the sky, and now we've got Smolder.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
yeah,
it's great
we
though.
we're
We're gonna keep
channeling
doing
what
it.
Flynn Rider from Tangled, I think, is the one who does the
Mm,
Smolder. Well,
mm-hmm.
we've weaponized that and put that into Fletcher. Um,
Weaponized.
and yes, it is incredibly satisfying to stop a knight's, justice or have at thee just because you're too beautiful to hit.
Yeah, so in case anyone doesn't quite see, this card is instant, which means that you can play it in response to your opponent playing a card, and it disarms them. So if they try to attack you, you can play Smolder in response. You can look at them like, "Are you sure you want to attack me, little old me?" And then it disarms them, and their card gets disrupted, and silliness ensues. So the Fletcher is hilarious, dashing, daring beyond mortal comprehension, that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
It is one of the most flavorful. I think it might be the most flavorful specialization we've made. I am absolutely in love with this. It is so fun to play and super strong and really goofy. It checks all the boxes for me personally.
It's just wonderful. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's 5 more Fletcher cards that we haven't shown off specifically here. We are going to be uploading all these cards to the website for you to take a look at. We're also going to be uploading them to the Tabletop Simulator mod, so you can play with them online today. Um, it's a great specialization. I highly recommend trying it. I think you'll have a lot of fun. But next up, we're going to be playing a game with the Fletcher facing off against the Executioner. So stay tuned if you want to check that out and see the Fletcher in action. Okay. All right. For those of you watching on YouTube, thank you very much.